All right, welcome everyone for FFLU. So we're gonna make this like a Red Bull shot. It's gonna be quick, wham, bam. I tell you that up front because the purpose of it is not for you to get every piece of information. This will be recorded, so you'll have the opportunity to listen to it later, take nuggets. So if it feels like you're drinking out of a fire hydrant, that's on purpose because it's a lot of information at one time. Some of the information will apply now, others will apply later. Okay. So for some of you, you're brand new and you're like, whoa, you got this. And then as you age in the business, it'll be like wine, it'll get better and better and better. So this is FFL University. Just like a university, you go in because you're new and the goal is for you to become a master, get a master's degree. Masters get paid master money. When you're brand new, expect that you're entry level, you expect to get paid less. Beautiful thing about FFL is you don't have to worry about that. FFL, you can actually get paid more now. So we're gonna go through a couple of things that we found are the difference makers in FFL. The short or the beginning portion of this will be just the basics, meaning the basics that will get you going, right? That's all you need to focus on, how to get started. The purpose of this also is to ensure that all you brand new people, I know it seems far away right now, but you can actually start building your agency today because you have a platform where you can know that you're not a baby having a baby. When I was brand new, I felt inadequate to be able to even think about having a baby agent because I didn't know anything. But here you have an opportunity where you can get your baby agents to this platform, knowing for sure they will get trained by experts. And that's me, others coming in to be able to help, okay? I'm just the face today. I'm definitely not plan on being the face forever, but just a little introduction for those that are brand new of what this is and what you're going to expect from it. The first portion, again, will be the basics. The end portion will be the advanced topic. We'll have an advanced topic every week. You go back on the FFL Haven YouTube page, you're going to see this is number 7 of the advanced topics. And so that's, again, where we are. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to share my screen and we will jump into FFLU. I will ask for some participation. If you're on this, I'm going to ask you this. Listen, we are a family, so there's no need to hide. If you're in somewhere, anyway, I'm going to just say it straight. Unmute, not unmute, but show your video. Hey, we're friends, we're family. Like, because when you're speaking in person, imagine if someone was doing like this when you're on stage, or they were like this. It doesn't give you that energy.
I don't have any microphone.
Copy that. But if you can, hey, do your video so that we can kind of see you and it kind of gives us energy as we go through. So let us jump in. We will have questions at the end. If you have questions, great. The purpose of this is to last for about an hour 30. If we have questions at the end, I'm always open to questions because a mind once expanded, it never returns the same size. And while your mind is at a heightened state, I will love to engage those questions to allow you to be able to grow because that's what you got to do. So let's jump in, guys. Some of it is tech. So if you have any tech issues, I will just simply move on. I'm not gonna leave on it. So let's go. So first things first about FFLU, understand this. There are 3 reasons people quit anything. They lose belief in the company, they lose belief in their leaders, or they lose belief in themselves. Only 3 reasons. So as you go through your journey in FFL, which of those is the missing link or the weakest link right now? Is it you, is it your leaders, or is it the company? The goal is to get all of those strengthened. 3-legged stool, one leg may be kind of teetering right now. FFL, that's not a missing link. That's not a weak link. We've been around for a long time, and I don't think I got to preach much to you, but you will have it preached to you so much so that you have such confidence. No one can say anything about FFL. And if you're saying, well, what do they got to say? Well, trust me, dogs do not bark at parked cars. So if you haven't heard anything negative now, you will. I'm just getting you ready that this is a solid company, just like if someone was talking bad about your mama, about your daddy, about your friend, right? If you didn't know and trust them, you would be dissuaded by what they were saying. But when you know your friend, now they are solid, you're wrong, because I know even if it did happen, it was a mistake, right? So we've been around for a while, record-breaking growth every year. Give you guys an idea of those who haven't been in the insurance industry. We are so big, we're doing more in 8 years than companies that have been around in insurance for 30, 40 years. There's not even a close second. We did what, 618 last year, million. The goal is to do $1 billion this year. Now I can't list numbers, so I'll take that off. So scratch that off. We have a lot of agents helping a lot of families every year compared to where everyone else works, right? Let me fast forward. FFL is crazy math. I'm not going to show this video, but the math is so stupid, it's ridiculous. People are realizing that The reason insurance has not been sexy for a long time is because the companies were, honestly, they were being greedy, in my opinion. My humble but accurate opinion, they're being greedy. Now, Sean Mike had the game-changing approach of giving the agents the money, and that's what makes FFL so unique. Now, for those of you who don't know the way it works, you just heard this was a great comp plan. Here's the comp plan in 10, 15 seconds. You do the volume and you go up. Now, if you look at this little sheet, I know it's a little small, but bear with me. I mean, some of you, as you do these production on the left-hand side, if you do the production personally, that means you move up to the next level. So 100%, a lot of you started off that way. That's as if you had already written $10,000 of volume with us, right? So if you do that for 2 months in a row, I think, let's just say 3 months in a row, you promote to the next percentage, meaning that 100% comp go to 105. It means 105 of the annual premium, which is a crazy thing. When you see people getting 30, 40, 50, 60% comp, when you can get 100 just starting out the gate, it's a game changer. All the way up to 130. Again, this is just your personal production. So if you look at these numbers, guys, this is crazy. I mean, 30,000 issue paid. That's crazy. To be able to do that, and again, you're 110, it's a wonderful thing. On the right-hand side is your team volume. So you can promote with an agent contract, just building a producer's contract, or you can promote through a builder's contract. On the right-hand side, that's what your team's doing. And if you notice, the max you can do on a producer's contract is 60 families a month protected, okay? Now, after 60 families a month, you can do 70. You still can only go 130% comp. The only way you can go above 130% comp is you have to build an agency at that point. And your agency needs to be, if you look at that, 300,000 a month. So that's 300,000 volume issue paid. That's when you can promote to 135 and so forth and so on. So you can only go so far. So again, when should you start? You should start now. Let's transition real quick. The 12 core commitments, what are they? So these are these 12 core commitments that will be the difference maker between you succeeding and you not succeeding. Everyone needs a litmus test. Everyone needs barriers. If we didn't have barriers on the highways in some places, many people would die. Everyone knows that, right? Horses have blinders because horses are horses. They get spooked easily. Some of us, just being real, we are like horses. We're not used to being in business. We get spooked easily because it's just something that's new. Right now, if you're brand new, you're at your highest level of anxiety, your lowest level of knowledge. That's why it's harder for you. You're new. The goal is to switch that, get you high knowledge, low anxiety. So we don't want to spook you. Here's how we're not going to spook you: by you staying within these barriers. This 12 core, you're going to see it shortly. You will be able to be a fortune teller to know where you stand in FFL. No one likes to guess. Hope is not a plan. And for me, that was very important when I started. So that's why I actually put this together, because everyone wants to have a map. I mean, how would you like it if the US had a highway that moved all the time, right? 1 week or one summer, it was, you take a left here and this right to get to Yellowstone. But the next summer, you had no idea. And if that's how you're building your business, or if that's how this feels to you, that process, that journey is stressful and frustrating. I'm going on purposely to help you understand, guys, this is bigger than you think, because if you can just follow this path, you'll be able to judge and tell yourself, okay, I know I'm this close to be able to fulfill my goal. So this is a full-time or part-time commitment. Typically, I'll tell you this though, typically, it's easier to go fast than slow. I'm gonna repeat that. If you're taking easier here to go fast and slow. I'm gonna give you an example just so that, because facts tell and stories tell. If you're riding a bike and you're just pedal, wait 10 seconds, pedal, wait 10 seconds. You're probably falling, right? If you're learning how to ride a bike, you end up associating bike riding or learning how to bike ride with skidding your knees because you're going so slow. But when you start riding the bike consistently, you start going a little faster, you start feeling the breeze. Now you can feel the breeze because the bike is going fast enough. I know it sounds crazy, but FFL is easier fast than slow. Second thing, if you're taking notes, FFL is one of those deals where the most expensive way to run this business is to cheapen it. FFL will get very expensive if you go cheap on it. You got to do it the right way, the right time. So anyway, I'll fast forward. The goal is to go 15 to 30 appointments a week, right? And the numbers just kind of fall from there. So let me jump into it. Like I said, this is a fire hydrant. These are the 12 core. We'll go through. Number one, submit to the process. Number 2, invest in leads weekly. 3, commit to dial days. 4, run 15, 30 appointments a week. 15, sharpen your sword daily. 2 exposures a day. Attend a weekly business builders training. That's this. Attend quarterly sales conference. Attend a national conference. Commit to personal development. And Anna, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and admit people that are coming through. I see someone's on. 12, find a workout partner. 11, find a workout partner. And 12, be here a year from now. I'm gonna kind of speed up a little bit. Submit to the process. What is that? Now, before we get into this, here's the power of committing to the process. What is the process? The process is going from 1 to 100 appointments. You got to just kill it. Kill it. I mean, go through it. If I told you that at 100 appointments, you would be an expert at FFL. Let me give you a better example. If I told you that from here to, I don't know, 100 miles from here, you had to walk there. If you walk there, or rather, if you arrived at that location, you would have everything you wanted money-wise. Question to you is, how long would you take to get to that location? Would you take a year, a month? If you knew just getting there, most people would get there as fast as possible. Same thing with the appointments. You just got to get 100 appointments, because at that point, you've seen everything. You've seen good, bad, ugly. You're an expert at that point. Just get through it fast, right? For me, what really made a difference and really helped me understand and embrace, submit to the process was I had a lot of surgeries. That's what it was for me. Some of you, you haven't had experiences in your life that it has made you and forced you to submit to the process. It's grueling to be a master. You have forgotten what it is to be a master. Some things aren't easy. A lot of things are. Walking was not easy when you started. Neither was talking, but you forgot about mastery because now we just do enough to get by. Here, you need to become a master, a professional. A doctor goes through the process of being a master. So all I'm saying is, I had surgeries, and once you have a surgery, if anyone's ever had it, you know the first week to 2 weeks is going to suck. There's nothing you can do. Now, I had the privilege of going through 5 surgeries. After the first one, after the third one, I just knew, just embrace it. I was okay with the fact that it would be tough to go through recovery. Once you just embrace that, listen, I'm going to get hung up on, I'm going to feel awkward, this, that, all the above, then this is easy. You just expect it. It's like expecting that you're going to get a cold shower. When you know it's coming, it makes it a little bit better, right? Versus just, right? Just submit to the process of 100, okay? I'm going to give you an example of what that means for someone.
Insurance sales to this. It's different. I'm still learning. I think the biggest thing is just going all in day one, figuring it out, not being afraid to mess up, getting out in front of your failures is going to happen. You just jump straight in. I purchased $1,500 worth of leads. It was on a Saturday, started dialing on Sunday. What type of leads are you working? So right now I'm actually doing instant internet. What do you guys say to the agents that say, oh, instants don't work or CRM leads don't work? Yeah, I mean, for any excuse, I would tell them to look at how often are you actually working on your craft? Are you actually dialing? It takes work. To me, it's worth it. Spend $11, make $1,000.
Just jump into the process. All right, next stage, phase 1. This is one of how you commit to the process, because the human mind will never commit to something that they don't think that they can finish. That's just how it works. So this is a document we put together called a phase 1 document. It doesn't matter where you are in your business. If you simply do the phase 1 document, the whole goal is to stay in phase 1. Biggest challenge for you is exiting phase 1, because phase 1 is your phase where you get going. If you can just figure a way to stay in phase 1, your business will just keep going like this. When you get to phase 2 and phase 3, it starts. So if your business is doing this and you're seasoned, that's why you got out of state phase 1. What is phase 1? First, you need to activate your why, right? I don't have time for this video. You know what the heck? I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna show it to you.
Later than that knockdown, and I love it. Buster Douglas got knocked out. Nobody ever got knocked out by Mike Tyson and ever got back up. It was almost a 10 count. He was stumbling. They were 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, ding, ding. Saved by the bell. He goes to his corner. The whole world is like, that's it. Once he comes back out, that's it. Mike's going to just hammer him. And exactly that. Mike Tyson came out like, I got him. I got this kid up against the rope. Listen to me. Many of you right now, life's got you up against the rope. You can't give up. You can't give in. Listen to me. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And if life's got you backed up, I need you to do what Buster Douglas did. Buster Douglas started fighting back. World was shocked. Goliath has been knocked down. What happened? And they went to Buster Douglas and they asked Buster Douglas simply like, what happened? And Buster Douglas said, listen to me, it's real simple. Before my mother died, she told the whole world that I was going to beat Mike Tyson. And 2 days before the fight, my mother died. Buster Douglas had a decision to make. When his mother died, he could die with his mother, or he made a decision, I can wake up and I can live for mom. And he knocked Mike Tyson out simply because his why was greater than that punch.
That's all we got time for. Is your why great? Now, a lot of this will be coming to really uncovering your why, because I'm going to be honest with you right now. This is not about the how-tos. A lot of you know the how-tos. You've seen it. You buy, dial, and run. It's not about the how. It's how you do the how. And I'm going to tell you right now, if your engine is weak, you put your engine, Pinto engine, in a Porsche, a Lamborghini, FFL is the Porsche. It will not function like it's supposed to. Your why needs to function well. So what is your why? A couple of people say, what's hurting you? That's what your why is, right? It's the goal. Here's how you activate your why: by digging deep. Is the pulse of it. Does it keep you up at night? If you already think you have one, does it make you cry? Does it inspire you? Does it wake you up in the morning? Do you dream about it? You know, one of my whys I dream about is actually serving people. Coming from where I come from, giving people opportunities. I remember times I would say to myself, man, if I just had someone that just reach out to me, just give me an opportunity. You know, one of my biggest whys is being able to go develop a school in Africa and pay teachers money that they don't have to, that they can have the best education there is. That's one of my big whys, to be successful, to be able to give back, be a vehicle for my opinion, for the God I believe in, to work through other people. That's what pushes me. Is your why big enough? And we're spending a couple of minutes on this why because it's so critical. Now, that's a long-term goal. Short-term goal for whys is how much would get you excited? What goals do you have that would be a game changer for you? Now, whether you're new or you're older, here's the truth. If you're why, or if you are tired, it isn't so much you're tired, it's just that you're uninspired. Your why, you've lost vision of your why. And what we know is, where there is no vision, the people perish. That's just what happens. So these are just a couple of questions you could ask to activate your why. At the end of the day, it's always your why. Here's the 5-year goal. What would you do with your time if you'd already accomplished your goal at FFL? Typically, you're looking at about 2-3 years if you put your head down. That's the average it's been for most people. 2-3 years. You got money coming in, 20, 30, 40 grand a month. What will you do with your time? That's your why. What would you focus on? Where would you travel? What kind of food would you eat? These are all these questions, again, that you've got to ask yourself. If you don't have what you want, it's because of this. You're not asking the right questions. Meaning, in life, if you want better answers to your problems, ask better questions. These are the questions. When you go to a seminar, I'm being real, you pay $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 to a seminar. Tony Robbins, you know all he does? He helps you do what I'm doing right now. He helps you activate your why. So some of you, because it doesn't have a flashy name on it, you're just kind of skipping in your head because your mind is not recognizing the value of this right now. Your why. Most people spend more time on a weekend planning a trip with their kids and their husband and their girlfriend, with their buddies, than they do their whole life. They don't even spend time on this because, oh, that's the touchy-feely stuff, you know. This is the power that you're skipping over. It's your why. When your engine is strong enough, the rest is history. Let's say you get your why together. You start it off. B, you got to build cash flow. Buying leads, dial leads, running appointments. Decide, put the date on paper. When will you buy your leads? The first time. When will you dial? First time. And then when will you run? That's the start. The next step is, if you see on that third call, your next purchase. That's key. When will be your next purchase? Because this is not a short sprint. This is a marathon, right? You can't just sprint, which I did when I was younger. I was running this race. I just sprinted. And by the halfway point, I literally was at a dead walk. Everyone was like, wow. But the good thing is I ran so fast, I still got like second or something. But this is you have to say, okay, when am I going to buy my next batch of leads, right? Because some of us start, we just say, I put in X amount of dollars. Now, think about it. If you were a McDonald's or a big business owner, you just think of the first purchase? No, you think of the future. So that's what's critical. Set your trajectory in the right place by setting when you're going to buy your first batch, when you're buying your next batch, and plan ahead that way, okay? See, we don't have time for this one. Let's go ahead and move forward. This is outdated stuff, so just act like you didn't see it. I'll say this, if you're brand new and you're gonna run, you don't wanna psych yourself out. The whole goal is just for you to buy a dial and run. I want you to see this, and then we'll continue and jump into the rest.
Try to get through your first 100 appointments as fast as you can, because there's a lot of different things going on. People always get a little bit too caught up in product knowledge and how to present, what's the best script to use, how do you deal with objections. But none of this really matters that much, because you can study all day long, but if you sit at home and you just like watch videos and you study the scripts, you don't make any money that way. Okay? It'll help prepare you, but it also could psych you out.
Don't get psyched out. Don't have analysis paralysis, right? Ignorance on fire is way more powerful than knowledge on ice, period. An hour in the field is way more valuable than 20 hours in the classroom. Here's key. Now, two things. We buy leads, we dial leads, we run appointments. Let's say you're in a position where you are just, you came to this business with almost nothing. Then you need to use the best resource that we have on God's green earth. That is the people that you know, like, and trust. Make a list of the people you know, like, and trust. I'm just being real. Now, this is for twofold reasons, because we need to protect the people that we know, like, and trust. Hey, if I started a business, who would be the first, if you were starting a multi-million-dollar business, who would be the top people that you think are the sharpest people that you would invite to your crew? Who would you invite? Right? Who if you had a bag full of gold, you found this valuable gold location, who will be the first 3-4 people that you would try to go help? Those are the people you need to go protect. Put them on the list. And the truth is, if you have less than 50 on that list, you're prejudging. Again, it's either you have the cash and you go invest in leads, and if you don't, it's okay. Use your resources, create a list, and with that list, create the list, and you start using that list to be able to maximize your resources, because you still need to protect those people. Hey, so-and-so, you got a minute? Yeah, listen, I really appreciate your help. I don't know if you know, I just started a business, and I would just love, I just need 15 minutes of your time just to practice on this insurance business I have. That'd be okay? Yeah. Hey, just come over. I just need your thoughts when I'm going through. Just be honest with me. And you literally go through a presentation, and you'll be surprised. Of course, you'll protect people. There's multiple ways to go at it. Reach out to me afterward if you have any questions, but it's just simple. Hey, I got something I need to show you. Take about 15 minutes. And by the way, you may or may not be interested. You could do that way. However, but introduce people if you have lack of resources that way. Don't prejudge as you go through. Okay. Now you're going to be, doing two things. FFL is two things. It's the people you protect and the people that you build in your business. It's just two things. So the recruiting process is important. And we're going to talk about this in the back end. Here's the recruiting process, because some of you has asked, well, I got this person interested. What do I do? Well, first things first is you need to pique their interest with questions. Hey, do you keep your income options open? Or hey, who do you know that's sharp, that's interested in sales? That's what makes FFL a little bit unique. We're looking for sharp, hardworking salespeople. We're not looking for anybody, but you got to ask questions, and you pique with a question. Hey, yeah, well, I might be. What is it? And you use a third-party tool. We have the Rogue IMO video to let them know about FFL. This is insurance. But again, we want to be able to help not recruit to, but recruit through, because we know that there are people in your Rolodex that there's someone in your Rolodex that will be the game changer in your business. It isn't necessarily them, it's someone that they know, but they don't know anything about FFL. They're working at some agency earning 30% comp when you can be blessing their lives. How do you get there? Well, you got to simply ask the questions and go through. Now, the third one's a 3-way call. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then you get them in the pre-licensing or contracting, and then the rest is history. So moving on, you got to get plugged in. Some of you are here now, but there's more to just getting plugged in than this. We got the 20K boot camp if we're brand new. We got Monday, Thursday live dials, right? We got FFLfieldtraining.com, right? We got all these options to be able to plug in. This is a lonely business. If you decide or you choose on your own free will and choice to go at it by yourself, more power to you, but shame on you. Why do it alone? Why do it that way? It's grueling. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is hard work. It's hard work. Now, let's be clear here. This isn't roofing at 110 degrees, for 12, 13, 14-hour days. This isn't hammering in the oil field with all these hard labor. So it's not hard work like that, but it is mental exertion, right? Different kind of hard work. So this is very hard. Because it's hard, I'm telling you, when you have people going together, it makes more sense. I'd rather run with 10 people going through the same direction I am than carry dead bodies, right? And mine being one of them, right? So there's no need to do that. We got a Facebook group. If you're not on that, get on that. We have an FFL USA Facebook. Connect with us or someone on the team afterward. We'll get you that link. There's so many people having stories of things that are happening with them. When things are low for you, they're good for them. Just keeping your eyes on the prize, makes all the difference. Again, we are horses. The goal is to keep ourselves distracted from the distractions. We got all these that are going on. So I'm going to jump in and we're going to go through quickly the core commitments. So number one was committing to the process of 100. The question I'm going to ask you is this: as we go through this 10 core, you're going to grade yourself, give yourself a 10 or give yourself a 0. If you do it, if you're either committed to doing it or you're doing it, if you're doing it halfway, give yourself a 5. If you're not doing it, give yourself a 0. At the end of the 12, you're going to add up all those numbers and you're going to divide by 12. And that will give you your percentage rate of success here at FFL. You will be your own Madame Esmeralda, right? And hey, my boss or someone told me, as a mentor, he says, listen, Mac, you better start with the truth because you're going to end up with it. Wouldn't you like to know right now if you were going to succeed? Like, that's what I wanted to know. If someone told you right now, hey, Billy, you're going to fail. Just go ahead and just quit now, right? You save you all that time, right? So if you knew that, hey, right now with what you're doing right now, you have a 30% rate of success here, wouldn't you want to know what you need to change? I would right now. And then I'll say, you know what? Maybe, hey, you have an 80% chance. Now you know you're on the right track or you know what you need to do. So that's what this is for. So core commitment number 2 is you got to invest in leads every week. We talked about the process to 100. Not only your lead purchase this week, what will be your lead purchase next week? If you are committed to investing in leads weekly, give yourself a 10. If you're not, give yourself a 0. If you say, maybe if the first batch works out, give yourself a 0. I'm just being real with you. You got to commit it. Listen, I know this is a little bit gruesome in your mind. We got crack fiends, cocaine fiends. They are broke. They hustle to keep their habit up, do what they got to do. You're going to let that guy out hustle you? I know it sounds a little weird, but what is the reason that they were able to keep their habit up? By stealing and all these other things. They do whatever they got to do. No one's saying steal. Don't get me wrong now. They are obsessed. They got to do it. Are you obsessed with what? It isn't FFL. It's your why. We go back to the engine. Does that thing you want, is that bad for you that you really were willing to do whatever you got to do? If I told you, hey, let's say you were broke like a joke right now. Let's just be real. You had no money. The only money you had to invest in leads was what you put in the first time. And I said, hey, Jolene, if you don't have $1,000, $1,500 for next week, you are dead. You don't have $1,500 to pay for your treatment for this miracle cure, you are gone, dead, sayonara. What would you do different to get that money? And you just told me, oh, I don't have any more money. Yeah, you see what? Your mind, you're like, I don't know, what, do you want to live or do you want to die? Your business will die if you don't invest in leads, period. So do what you got to do. You got to either get the money in leads or have good network and start working it, because your business is a baby. You're either going to be a mama that's going to starve the baby, because mamas take care of the baby, or you will be a mama that figures it out and you do what you got to do to feed your baby until your baby is an adolescent. It can help you out a little bit, and then an adult that will pay you and take care of you, wipe your, get you diapers. You know what I'm saying? It will take care of you. Do whatever you got to do to be able to take care of you. So $1,500 a week, full time. $500 a week part time. That's just how it works. There isn't a special lead vendor. If you just invest the number of lead flow is cash flow, however you cut it, because that's the number you need. I do about maybe $2,000, $2,500 a week in leads. I will go a little bit more, but there's only so much you can go where it doesn't really increase the profitability. But $1,500 to $2,000 is what it takes to be able to do it. There are all kinds of leads. We won't go into it right now. Some people love final expense. Other people love mortgage. Right now, just get in the mix. Start off with the lead strategy we talked about and just get going. Number 3, commit to dial days a week. You got to commit. If you're doing telesales, it's every day. It's every day. It's either 1,000 dials or you made $1,000. I asked Wendell is crushing it, doing it. He's been committed to it. He says it's rare that I made $1,000 and I didn't make $1,000. So if you're doing telesales, it's $1,000, meaning each time that you hit that green button or each time it rings out, that's a dial. $1,000. That's a lot of dial. That's a lot of work. But when you're doing telesales, every day is a dial day. When you're doing in-home, it's Mondays and Thursdays. Mondays you dial for Tuesday and Wednesday appointments. Thursday you dial to book Friday and Saturday appointments. That's just how it works. So commit to doing it. If you're committed to having dial days every day, if you're telesales or whatever schedule you got, or you're committed to doing 1 or 2 dial days a week, give yourself a 10. If not, if you're committed to only 1, give yourself a 5, because without dialing, you got nothing. Okay. Number 4, commit to a training a week. This is what this is. Sorry, not a training a week. I apologize. We got all kinds of trainings that come on. Number 5, sharpen your axe. Oh, let me be clear. This is the training every week we talked about. So if you're committed to coming on it, give yourself a 10. If not, then give yourself a 0 as it comes. Or if you can't, hey, you could at least get back on the back end and watch it because it's going to be recorded. Number 5 is sharpen your sword every day. You got to get better and better. We got all kind of options for you. Every Wednesday, be on the leaderboard. Fridays, it's a live training from top people. It's FFL Next, it's a TNL is what they call it. Next Level Live. They interview some top producer. They share the experience, what they're doing, right? I mean, you can do one of two things. You could either go to the school of experience, or you can go ahead and do it your own way. Trust me, every way, everything, every objection, every kind of person you've spoken to has been spoken to. Why not learn from someone's experience? And that's what's benefited me moving forward. I was just ravenous about it. And of course, every Saturday, Sean Mike actually answers questions, and he goes through some mind-boggling things. I love it. I don't have time now to share it, but I do. So 1 through 5, that's just being a producer. If you rate yourself, add those numbers from 1 to 5, divide by 5, that will give you your percentage of success as a producer in FFL, as a high-paid salesperson in FFL. 6 through 12, that's about building. That's about actually growing an agency. So this is committing to exposing, letting 2 people a day know that FFL exists. Just sharing the story, just asking the question, right? So if you commit to it, that means you can then build an agency. You can't say, well, when I get a team, then I'll do it. You can't be the one. You can't get one unless you become the one. Be the kind of agent you want, right? So, but if you decide, you know what, let me go ahead and get, you're in a year, you get an agent that's committed. 2 of you guys do 2 a day. That means 4 a day are being exposed. In a year, that's 960 guys. Of 960 people, someone's going to see the vision, right? And we go through, the numbers are the numbers. We're talking about minimum overrides here. If all you did was just simply get 5 that were committed, the rest is history. Now you got to go through the numbers. We're sorting, not convincing. That's what's unique about FFL. We don't want everybody. I don't really care what people say. My whole goal is just simply to have them look at the Rogue IMO video. That's it. Based on their response, that tells me whether I got a dud or a stud, right? Or a dud or a studette. Number 7, sorry, this is FFLU University. So commit to the trainings, but FFL University, this is what we're doing. We're doing a 7 or 8 week course, and it's today is going to be week 7. We're going to talk about 3-way calls and setting the table on the back end once we're done with this one. Week 8, which will be next week, we're talking about the road to integrity, which is what everyone is going for. Number 8, and so if you're committed to it, give yourself a 10. If not, 0. Number 8, quarterly sales conference. So we have a conference all over the country that's free. Get to one. If you have one in your backyard, wonderful. If you don't, fly there, drive there, do something. You need something to get your gas. If you think you're good enough, trust me, you're not. I don't care. Top producers go to quarterly sales conferences, right? The reason they're top producers is because they do that, right? They don't do it because I've had people tell me things like, oh no, I've already been to those things. And these are people that were supposedly good. You know, doesn't make any sense, right? If you're a master high-tuned sports car, you still take pit stops. That's what this is. It gets you fueled. Again, you need the constant maintenance. Fast and high-tuned performance cars don't just go, they don't just keep going. Even runners, they do take the drinks, they do the little energy shots, or what do you call it, the glucose. They know they're going a distance, so you need to make sure you're sustained. If you're committed to going to a sales conference once a quarter, give yourself a 10. If you're not, or you're saying maybe not, 0, right? So you can find one, go to fflevents.com, and it'll kind of give you an idea of where they all are. And you can actually use this to build your business. How? Well, you see a conference in St. Louis. You can then start asking the question. Remember your 2 a day? Hey, any of my friends from St. Louis? Hey, do any of my friends know anyone from St. Louis? You can start building towards that sales conference because it's free. You got top producers sharing how they did it, right? It's free. It's a beautiful thing. No cost whatsoever. I keep hitting on that because I've been in businesses in the past where you got to pay to get in events. And guys, you got people doing things for your benefit because there's so much, there was no scarcity whatsoever. Our company is generating so much that we don't need to do all that stuff. We just want to help people, which is the reason Sean Mike did what he did. Okay. Number 9, national conference, which we know it's the 1st or 2nd week of February. If you're committed to going, just go. We just had one and it was a difference maker. It will shorten your learning curve. I would say 6 to 9 to probably a year, if not more. I don't know if she's still on, but we had Rose. I mean, she went prior to, she was doing okay, but she came out, boop, like a little factory, helping 20 families a month. Now, just come, boom. Because why? Her mind expanded. And what did Einstein say? A mind once expanded never returns the same size. She can't go back now because her mind saw the vision. So the difference between you fulfilling the number of families you want to protect is you don't see the vision. And when the vision is not clear, that's the problem. And part of that vision, again, is first thing, going back to it, your why. Is it clear? Spend time crystallizing it. Once that's clear, and you may need help. If you need help, hey, it's okay, reach out, ask someone in your leadership. Hey, help me find this. And once you know it's burning hot, once you start getting mad about it, that's when you know you're getting close to that core, right? The core, they say the center of the earth is hot. That's when you start getting close to the center of your earth, right? So we don't have time for that video, but make sure you join us. Again, I keep going back to this word, guys. It's free. We have other IMOs. They charge $230, $250. Guys, you just got to get there. It's free to get into an event. Last time we paid, we use the Marlin Stadium, the entire stadium. Guys, come on, it's huge. Can you imagine how much all that costs just for us to be blessed with all the speakers, right? Number 10, personal development. Oh, by the way, so if you're committed to going, it was in Florida last time, assume it's going to be Florida again. It could be in Alaska. If you're committed to going, no matter where it is, give yourself a 10. If not, if you're maybe, I'll give you a break. Give yourself a 5. Let's just say it. Listen, let's just cut it real. Give yourself a 0, because if you're not committed, it's not going to happen. Number 10, personal development. You got to be growing, become bigger than your business every day. And these are things that you're adding all these up. You're probably saying to yourself, wow, it's a lot. The truth is, it seems like a lot, but it's really not. Just got to do it little by little. Like driving. Remember that when you first started driving? You got to have your hand at 10 and 2, and look here, look left, turn. You got to click the blinker. Well, make sure that car doesn't curve too much. Well, is that car going to be turning, or is he going? You slow it down. You know what I mean? It seemed like it was a lot coming at you, but after time, now we can do it with our eyes closed. So these are just small things you got to implement, but you'll know at least that you have to do these things. Otherwise, you'll get in a crash. So personal development is one of those things. It's the difference maker. You have to be bigger than your business. Here's the reason personal development is important. Even if you're a top producer now, you came out of the gate cranking it. It's happened to me where you'll go and then you'll stop, because problems will occur in life. The bigger the problem you solve, the more money you make. That's how it works. If you're a bagger at a grocery store, you put the can on the bottom and the bread on the top. That's a small problem. So guess how much you get paid? This much. But life insurance, you got, hey, if I die, it's a catastrophe for my family. It's a bigger problem. Hey, they have to get qualified. I don't know what meant. That's a bigger problem. You solve that big problem, and the company's not greedy, so we pay you this much, right? But here's what happens. You start doing that, and guess what? Over time, you run into what we call a rut. If you grow small, your business grows like this, but you don't grow faster than your business, that means you were confronted with a problem. As you wanted to make more money, that means what? Your problems must get bigger. You must solve bigger problems. So when you're confronted in a situation where, here are the examples of you grew faster. Oh yeah, your business grew faster than you, and you didn't grow faster than your business. You start getting overwhelmed. Oh wow, I mean, you don't know what it is. All of a sudden you're just overwhelmed. Avoidance behavior. You don't know what it is, but suddenly you're avoiding doing the things you're supposed to do. I mean, you can go on and on, right? That's how you know that you've grown slower and you get in these ruts. How do you keep on pace? It's like taking your medication every day, right? Some of us, we've heard people that have diabetes, whatever the medication you have, if you don't take that pill every day, let's say you have a complication, right? Will taking 12 pills solve it? No, right? I was in surgery. I remember you had to hit this button so you can have the pain, not make you cry. And you had to hit the pain every few hours, even, or the little button every few hours, even if you weren't feeling painful. There was this one time I forgot to hit the button, and I felt this pain in my knee. It was excruciating. I'm like, I'm like pressing the button, but you know how it works. It has to run through the little IV drop, starts dripping, runs through the veins, and it hurt for like 15, 20 minutes. Oh, because here's the deal. Time will either expose or promote your preparation. are you preparing? So I'm gonna stop on that tangent. 10 pages of a good book. Here's a great book. It's Disrupting Sacred Cows. I think it's out now. It's a great book to start with. If that's too much, start with As a Man Thinketh. Just something every day that's not Oprah, that's not National Enquirer, something that's building your mind, because this has to be bigger than this. And in addition, listen to 15 minutes of a good audio. If some of you are saying, wow, Mac, that sounds great, but that's a lot of stuff. How am I going to fit my already busy schedule and fit this all into it? Well, wake up earlier. That's all I can tell you. And truthfully, here's what I'm going to add to that. That's not my problem. That's your problem. And again, if you want more money, guess what you got to do? Be a big boy and big girl and solve your problem. I'm just here to tell you what the solution is. Be an adult and apply the solution. Don't complain if you're not willing to apply the solution, because here is a solution to your problem now and your problem moving forward. There are solutions that this little core 10 will solve. There are solutions to solve that aren't even appearing yet. Some of you aren't even doing this. There's a problem coming. It's like a hurricane. That's why we got all these satellites. If there was no satellite when we were preparing for it, the satellites, the hurricane's still doing the circling thing. It's just getting closer and closer. And by the time you see it, it's too late. Your house is over, right? So thank goodness we have the core commitments to let us know problems are coming. You better get ready by doing your personal development, because otherwise you're stuck to where you are and you will never make more than you're making now. Because again, I'm gonna add this too before I jump on. Your greatest thinking got you to where you are right now. Meaning your mind as it is right now got you to where you are with the problems you got. And somehow, how do you think that unless you grow bigger, you're gonna be able to use what we got to solve better problems? It doesn't work that way, right? So just be ready. You got to solve problems, and the way you solve problems is by getting better. So 11, get a workout partner. A lot of folks have seen this video. I love it though. It's just so awesome. Check it out. Hey, the lead said no. They said they weren't interested. Your coach starts talking to you. You reach back. Come on. And you get your first sale, right? You need a workout partner. Find one. If you don't have one, find one. You got to find one, because you need to do this with someone. That's just how life works. There's an old African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. That's what it's all about. Number 12, just make it a decision. Decide right now that you're going to be here a year from now. For some of you, you look at this, you're like, yeah, I could just say it. You have trained your mind that you are a quitter. That's what you've done. Your word is law. Like it was sanctioned and annexed by the government. You know how we follow laws? You have hit the gavel so many times when you say, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to say I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Let this be the day you begin by breaking that slavery. Your word in the past has been law. Actually, it is, because your word is telling you what you're doing now. Some of you, if you say you're going to be here a year from now, I don't care what it is, you will be here a year from now, because what you say you do. Others of you, you're not sure. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. That's not good. Start today by changing that. How? Well, begin by committing to small little things, little by little. Say to yourself, I'm going to do something uncomfortable. I don't care what it is. Find something. Say I'm going to do 1 push-up on my knees. I'm going to do, plank for 10 seconds. It doesn't matter what it is. Say you're going to do something and do it tomorrow. Let's start now, then do it tomorrow, and then do it the next day. And then your mind has a coup d'etat. There's a new government in town. This government, they actually do what they're going to say to do, unlike politicians, right? They actually do it. And then all of a sudden, when you say something, I'm going to help protect 15 families this month. Guess what happens? Because your word is law, the mind starts attracting to make it happen. It's crazy stuff. You start seeing things you didn't see before. Opportunities exist. I'm gonna share with you. I know we got what time is it? Okay, I'm gonna share with you this one story. So I was young. I came to America. I wanted to start working. The reason I started wanting to work was because my mom in Africa wasn't eating very well. And I had the desire to just do well, but I didn't have my paperwork. So I got this job, but it fell through. The only thing I thought I could do was become a professional soccer player. I was a kid, but I had this desire so burning hot. My mom that had helped me out. I mean, this is the woman, she would come home from work, single mom, coming from work, and she would make the food and she would take one bite and give it to me and my two siblings. We would eat the rest. A hard worker. I couldn't let her down. So I said, I got on my knees. I said this prayer to God. I said, God, please, I made this plan where I'm going to be the best soccer player and then I'm just going to go to Europe. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to save my mom. I was dead serious. I knew God lived. I said, amen. You know what I did? In the prayer, I said, God, I am going to practice every day from 7 to 9. I went to this broken field, soccer ball, had no net, and I literally went every day. And I practiced every day. That was my goal. Did that, and eventually I got pretty good, right? Anyway, I got to this point where it was a time I got in this team. I had no money. Listen, when your why is strong enough, your job is to know what you want and why you want it. The rest is none of your business. The rest will figure itself out. So I had no money. I didn't know how I was going to do it. But I was playing one day and suddenly this guy sees me playing, goes, hey, you're pretty good. I said, yeah, you play for a team? No. Hey, let me get you this team. I don't have any money. He said, you know what, just come over. The coach sees me, says, you know what, let's do it. I become the only player on the team that has a scholarship. We eventually go to Europe. So we're about to go to Europe where there's this great tournament that all these stars were found out. I didn't have my paperwork. I wasn't yet all good. So guess what happens? I thought I was done for. I sent my request for a visa to Africa, to Nigeria. I got nothing. And it was getting close. I thought, man, I'm done for, man. My dream to play, to get noticed is gone. And luckily I lived with a guy who had faith. He said, you know what, Mac, we're not going to quit. So he typed up my story and he sent it to everybody he knows. He even sent it to Oprah. He sent it to Congress. You know, this kid, he got into this private school because he's working hard, trying to help his mom, all this. And I'm embarrassed because I know there are people that are actually suffering that need help more than me. I'm like, you shouldn't have done that. He said, no, we're going to do it. And God is good in a good way. One day I get this call from the news station. The news station says they want to go ahead and film my six. They do it. And get this. They said, we're going to air your story on a Wednesday. And I was looking on Wednesday. Guess what happened? No story. I was like, dang it. And the tournament starts on Friday, by the way, right? I had to go to, England and London and I need all that. I'm like, nah, I'm done for it. It didn't air. So anyway, it airs the next day on Thursday. I was like, okay, that's good, but it's kind of late now. Anyway, I get a call from a guy. Just to make the story shorter, the call is from a guy. He goes, hey, are you the kid that was on? I said, yeah, I'm that kid. He goes, he said, I'm the prime minister of Nigeria. He goes, I was in the airport in Dallas, which is where I lived, and I just happened to see your story on the news. I will personally make sure you get your passport myself. I was like, great. Now, I didn't know whether it was real. Now, I was like, sure. Guess what happened the next day? Passport in my hand. Oh, it was crazy, right? So I go to Europe and get this. It was like it was like a fairy tale. I get there. I'm the star player, supposedly. I get there. I score the first goal. I got offered a contract. Guys, what happened? I had no money. But I had a vision, I had a dream. And here's what I knew. If you do the best you can, you sacrifice everything you got, the rest will work out. Not saying it's gonna be easy. It will be hard, but it's gonna work. All I'm saying is because I had committed and done other things in my life that were hard, I knew if I said I was gonna be a soccer player, here's what that meant to me. If I'm on a treadmill and I say I'm gonna run 20 hours on that treadmill, I would have to pass out before I quit. Because this body is going to do it. So commit to be here a year from now. If you have trouble with that commitment, it's just words. That tells you also you need to start committing to do something else today that you will do tomorrow to build your word to law. So those are the 12 guys. Let's jump into the advanced topic. Typically we do recognition. I'm going to recognize all of you. We're going to do a better job. I want to recognize all of you guys. Recognition for all your hard work, because some of you are suffering silently and not getting results yet. Keyword yet. 90 days is typically what it takes between start to finish to start seeing the results from what you did a little bit ago. Some of you have suffered silently, and you're going to get recognized publicly. That's all it comes down to. So before we do three-way calls, I'd like to actually transition to doing the advanced topic first of setting the table. Some of you have come to me about I'm having this objection and that objection. Here's what I found from Jacob Medford. He said, there's a lot of things you can say to prevent or to overcome objections, but these things, you really can't overcome objections. You really need to prevent them. If you prevent them, there will be no need to overcome them. A preeminent strike. So let's transition real quick to setting the table. I'm gonna stop here for a second, and we're gonna transition to Anna, who I think I was showing her how to set the table recently. And guys, she blew me away. She's going through, I'm like, dang, that's good. I'm like taking notes myself. So I'm gonna transition to Anna. And if you want, Anna, I don't know if you have the iPad. Actually, I'm gonna go to the office. I'm gonna give her the iPad. She's gonna go through how to set the table from the beginning to ensure that you don't come across the objections at the end. Okay. And when she's done with that, I'll be the client. Then we'll transition to three-way calls, which I think is critical as well. So give me 1 second. Anna, go ahead and get started. I'll bring it to you.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Fabulous. So I actually have to give a shout out to Rose, because when I did my first field day with Mac, I saw Rose on Telegram and she was like, I do this every time. I was like, dude, Mac, what is that? What is she doing? And he's like, well, let me teach it to you. I was like, all right. So on our drive down to our field training, it was like 2.5 hours. We just went over it and over it and over it, and it was golden. So Rosa, you taught me, I got it from you. So you are amazing, girl. I think the biggest thing, and especially from the training that we were at yesterday, in setting the table, not being afraid to be very upfront with clients. There's so many people that want to tiptoe around the fact that we're asking them for personal information, that we are asking them for bank account information. We want to kind of tiptoe around the fact that money's going to come out of their account because we're scared they're going to pull away, right? We're scared that they're going to say no. We're scared that they're not going to be our client. You can't lose what you never had. You either faced it up front or you're going to get it on the back end, and then you just wasted an hour of your time doing a presentation for a client that's not yours anyways. So have that posture, have that faith that you are the person that's there to serve that person, and it's okay to be upfront and to ask for that information. So I'm just going to go over the, babe, you need to come here and set up how, yeah, thank you. We're a great non-technological team. It's awesome. Can you set up?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm just going to go up the exact script. It's probably the exact same thing, Rosa, that you do, but it was so simple and there was no qualms about it. There was no question, and it just, I felt like when Mac went over it with me. What, baby?
Just hit stop sharing the right button when you're done.
Okay. Can you guys see that screen? I can't see any of you anymore, so I can't tell.
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it.
Okay. Okay. So this is after, so you obviously, you go in when you set the table, your first experience is you're digging out their why. And when Mac was teaching me, you know, he said, don't move on until you feel confident enough that you have a why that is solid. It's okay to spend time on the why. It's okay to take time to learn, to figure out, why are you there? Why did they fill out the form? Why are you sitting in the room? What problem for them, what anxiety for them are you trying to solve? Because guys, I don't care how people act, there's a reason they filled it out. And that's when it's your job to sit down and be that person that asks the hard questions and continues to ask the questions to fill it out. Okay. So from the point that you figured out the why, the kind of transition sentence. So I'll go from there. So Mac, we've just figured out your why. So the transition sentence would be something along the lines of, okay, Mac, that makes sense. That's exactly what these programs that I work with are designed to do. Makes a lot of sense why I'm here. And again, my name is Anna. So I'm licensed by the state of Arizona to go over these programs with you. And I work with about 49 different carriers. And the reason they send me out here, the reason I'm working with you, and I show them a picture of the carriers, I don't have it in front of me, but the reason that I am here, and you probably recognize some of them right here, is because 99% of the programs I work with are all non-medical. And that means, Mac, for you, there's not going to be any blood samples, urine samples, mouth swabs, anything like that. I just need to go over a brief medical history with you, prescription history, and go over some financial questions with you to see if we could qualify you. Okay. So my job, Mac, today is very simple. My job today is to determine whether you might qualify or you don't qualify. Okay. Now, if I determined after we go through that brief history, 1 second, guys. If I determine once we go through that brief history that I think you might qualify, I am obligated to show you 3 different options. Now, just to take the pressure off, Mac, of those 3 different options, no matter how good they look today, you cannot make your final decision, okay? Mac, can you hear me?
That's a nugget, by the way. Takes off sales pressure. Cannot
What?
make your final decision today, no matter how good this is.
Yep. So no matter how good this looks, Mac, you can't make your final decision today, okay? Sorry, I can't see you. I can only see the screen. Okay. So you have to be verbal with me.
Copy that.
The only thing that we can do is we can determine whether you're going to apply for coverage or decline coverage. Now,
Okay.
Mac, if you want to decline coverage, that's no problem at all. I'll just have you sign my form, and all that tells my boss is that I came out to do my job. It does also make you ineligible to apply for insurance with us in the future, okay? However, when you apply for coverage, it's a very simple application direct through the carrier, and it's a typical application. They're going to ask for information like your name, your date of birth, your social, your address, all of those identifiers that make you you, and that's to ensure that nobody's getting the insurance in your name, okay? And then the carrier is also going to ask for your bank information, your account number, your routing number, because, I mean, obviously, Mac, your neighbor, you can't use their account information to pay for your insurance, right?
Right.
Right, okay. So once we submit that application, the approval could be instantaneous, which would be awesome, or it could be in 2 to 3 days or in 2 to 3 weeks. When that happens, that approval comes through, that's what's going to activate that first withdrawal from the bank of the option that you chose. And then it also activates the magic number 30. Well, what is 30? Within 30 days from that approval, you have the option to be able to increase your coverage, decrease your coverage, or you can change your coverage completely. And why would someone do that? Well, let's say once they get the approval, Mac, that you're sitting on it, you're praying on it, and you're like, you know what? I really just want to leave Anna in a little bit better position. Now that I know that I'm approved and I'm comfortable and this feels good, I think I can go up a little bit. You could do that with no issues. We don't have to come out and do another application. You just shoot me a quick text or send me a call and we'll get that handled and taken care of for you.
Okay.
If at the same time, Mac, you said, you know what, I sat down with Anna, it was really, I get it, but you know what, my heart was really bigger than my budget and we need a decrease, that's no problem at all. We can do that as well. And because I'm a broker and we look for all the best options for you, if we find something even better for you within the next 30 days, we can completely replace it as well. Do you have any questions, Mac, about this process?
No.
Awesome. Okay. So I only have a couple favors I ask of you. If you
Pause
don't
for a
mind.
second. That's the initial phase. She starts off. Notice she doesn't stop there. We want to flush every objection out right now. Right now. We don't want to waste anyone's time. And they are going to appreciate the fact that you're being straight up and real. You are a professional. They came to a doctor. They're getting a doctor answers. Doctor doesn't say, so how are you? You know, they say that, but they don't start talking about other things. After about 5 minutes, the guy's wondering, well, I came here for you to check me. Why aren't you asking me doctor stuff, right? People will treat you with the level of respect that you show them, right? If you show them that you are a professional, they won't treat you like a non-professional, right? So keep going. So she's going to go in stage 2, set the basics. Now she's going to ask them some questions.
Now, and just to comment on that too, so before you go into stage 2, guys, if anybody gets an objection at that point, you need to remember it's okay to pause and have an awkward silence. And I noticed that was one thing I was really bad at. It's okay to pause and have that silence and allow them to answer. Do you have any questions about this process? And then wait. And if they look uncomfortable, like you have to judge their character and the situation. If they look uncomfortable, make sure that they get this. Any questions, Mac? Are we good here?
So they thought that they were calling into Burger King. You're like, no, this is like a gourmet restaurant. You know what I mean? You're like, we don't make processed food. We make good food. This is Whole Foods right here, right? So if they called in, they treat you like they're calling Burger King and they mistreat you. No, you set them straight. You set them straight in the beginning. Like I gave an example. You go into a restaurant. sir, would you be paying with a American Express or will it be Visa? They're like, what the? Like, I walked in the wrong restaurant. Like, you tell them straight up so that you know, hey, you need to go to another restaurant if that's where you need to go to, right? So you're just setting the table. So you won't even have to deal with these ridiculous questions people ask because you set the table properly, just by just the way you're approaching it and the answer or the questions that you're asking.
And you set it up, you know, when you're talking about submitting an application, you talk about, we're going to need your driver's license, your social security number. And if you tell them it's so they can identify you, that just makes sense. Oh,
I have never had anyone, when I said it that way, ever said, you're gonna need my social? No,
How do you
I have
get
never
my
had
social?
anyone. Oh, and she's doing an in-home set the table. I'll do it real quick when she's done. A telesales set table is about the same. I never had anyone say, you're gonna need my social? Because I just laid it out like plain as day. I just told you what we need. This is, how else is it gonna work? You know what I'm saying? They never asked me that. So keep going.
okay. And then lastly, guys, if they do say, wait, hold on, so you're going to need my social, or I have to pay for this today. Don't justify their question as if it makes sense. All you do is circle back around. So if Max says, so you're going to need my social, correct. As I said, it's a typical carrier or it's a typical application that you're going to submit. So anytime, you know, you go to the doctor, they ask for your information. If it's your first initial visit, they ask for your insurance information, or if you apply for a loan, they ask for your, you know, your personal identifiers, because they want to make sure it's you. They want to protect you. And then that's how we submit directly through the carrier. And then don't say, does that make sense? We're going to go back and say, okay, do you have any questions about the process? So you're not validating what they're saying, but you are explaining it again, because you want to hit home. Yes, we're going to ask for your personal information. I am not going to go through a quote process and take my time if you're not going to give me your personal information. I'm not going to battle you for it once we hit that part of the application. Does that make sense?
If you entertain a clown, you join the circus. Just remember that. If you entertain clown questions, you join the circus. So don't really give it mean. I say things like, I mean, hey, depending on what you say, are we gonna have any problem with that? Are we gonna have any problem with that? I mean, like, really? When your kid says something stupid, do you really entertain what they said? Come on, let's be real about this here. You know, this is a teledoc. When a teledoc calls you, I don't know if you've ever had teledoc calls, but you know, they verify some things, whatever else, they tell you what they tell you. So this is just like seeing a doctor, same way.
Yep. Rosa's saying the same thing in the chat, guys. When she uses this process, she never gets that kickback.
Ever.
Okay. So if they say, no, I don't have any questions, I understand the process, perfect. So Mac, I do have a couple favors I want to ask of you, if that's okay. Awesome.
Yeah, go ahead.
Number one, Mac, so when we're going over this information, so I can do my job as a professional, when I ask you questions about your medical history, your prescriptions and all of that, I just ask that you're 100% upfront and honest with me, so I can get, as a broker, the best program available for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
Awesome. Okay. And then also, I asked that, sorry, hold on one second, guys. Okay, sorry, I didn't know how to stop it from ringing. Okay, and then also,
You only ask them 3 things.
yes, so I'm going to ask them to be upfront and honest with me and everything that they do. And then second, Mac, after we go through this whole and the process, and I give you the 3 options, please either tell me yes, you'd like to apply, no, you'd like to decline. Either way is fine. Just please don't tell me you want to think about it. Fair enough?
Yeah, fair enough.
And I'm going to pause right there, guys. When Mac first, like, we were role playing this, I felt so awkward because I'm like, why is that fair enough? Why couldn't somebody this? Why can't they say, hey, I want to think about it? But you have to remember, you are the broker. They asked you for your time to come out there. Yes, you're serving them, but you are the professional. So you set the ground rules, you set the table. And if you say, hey, we're either going to accept or decline, I am not going to come back out here, I'm not the quote person. Then if you have that posture, Every person I said that to, they were like, yeah, that's fair. I'm like, thank you. Right. So I say that and they say, yeah, that's fair. I say, thank you. And lastly, Mac, I want to ask your permission or give me permission that I am upfront, that I have permission to be upfront and honest with you, even to the point of asking the hard questions and being brutally honest. Do I have your permission for that as well?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Okay, ready to jump into it then?
Yeah.
Let's go. And that's it.
It's downhill from there. When they say yes, you got a sale. I know I got a sale. The only thing that would keep me from not getting a sale would be if somehow I missed a cue or if I didn't quote them properly. But as long as they agree to my process, it's game over. Right?
And you're
done.
And you're clear about it. And you're not like when you're talking, and Sean talked about this yesterday, Mike talked about this yesterday. He's like, you are the professional. Don't be weird. Look them in the eye, right? Show them respect. When you're asking for personal information, or you're saying the carrier is going to ask for personal information, or if you're over the phone, right? Don't stutter. Don't let your voice go all squeaky and raise up like you're asking a question at the end. Don't act like it's weird for you. Don't act like you're nervous and shy about asking for bank account information, because if you're not comfortable, they're not going to be comfortable with the fact that you're not comfortable. And then you're going to lose it. So when take the posture that you are the professional, that it's okay that you're asking for this information, because bottom line, guys, it is. Not one of you is going to take the information and run with it. And that's what they're worried about, that you're going to scam them. You know that you're not going to. You know you're there to service and help them. So take that posture that I will take care of them. I'm going to do my every best in my ability to take care of them. And they will feel it and they will respond accordingly.
Appreciate it, Anna. You could go ahead and stop that screen share. So let's transition for a second to the telesales version. It's the same. You know, they get on. I say, hey, and I immediately start the process. So if I call you, I say, hey, I do a couple of things. Here's how I get it going immediately. I say, hey, I have about, I'll just start from the beginning. So I said, ring, let's say, who wants to role play with me? All right, can you role play with me?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm role play with someone. So I call someone, outgoing call. I don't care whether it's mortgage, however the initial was, whether it be final expense. I said, ring. She says, hello. I said, hey, I said, Anna. Hey, Anna, this is Mac. I'm just getting back to you about that form you filled out, about the one that pays a house if you died or got sick, or getting back to you about that form you sent us that will take care of the final expenses. Looks like you put your date. Notice I just barely paused. Looks like you put your date of birth as boom, boom, boom. And the delivery address is boom, boom, boom. Does that sound correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm just calling to let you know we actually processed your, I'm just calling to let you know we did get it. We've been behind since COVID. Blame everything on COVID, by the way. It's real. It gives them a reality check. You're a real person. We've been behind since COVID. Just letting you know we actually did process your requests. I'm assigned to it. These are non-medical, if you remember. So no blood work, physical, nurses, needles. Just need to ask a few questions about your health, income, that sort of stuff to see what you qualify for. Now, as far as timing for you, see if I can squeeze you in. Are you working? This is if I was booking an appointment, but if I'm going straight in telesales, as far as timing, see if I can squeeze you in. I have let me see here. I have an appointment in about 45 minutes because they're only about 15 minutes long. But do you have the 15 minutes now to knock it out, or do we need a book for later on today?
Yeah, I guess I could do it right now.
You say I can do it right now. Perfect. Go ahead and grab a pen and paper, and we'll just let me know when you're ready. Boom. She said, I'm ready. Perfect.
I'm ready.
So first thing, Anna, I want you to, I get asked. So Anna, when you fill this out, what was it? What was the reason you filled this out? Were you just trying to make sure you didn't leave a burden, or were you trying to leave money for someone special?
Just taking care of my family. I got kids at home.
You got kids, so you're okay. So you want to make sure that if you passed, and I repeat what they literally just said to me. So you want to take care of your family, and that like if you passed away, your kids wouldn't go live with someone, or what would that look like exactly?
Well, yeah, my husband. So my husband would have to take care of the kids, but obviously, you know, he'd have to do like a mail order bride real quick or something.
Got it. Okay. Okay. You know, so she gave me a surface answer. I dug deeper. I just want a little bit of a why that I can actually attach to. Don't just take surface answers. Oh, I got you. So you want to make sure that if you were to pass away, that your husband wouldn't just be stuck with the bills. Is that right?
Yeah, that he'd have time to, like figure things out because our kids aren't in daycare or anything. So
Okay.
we'd
Okay.
have to figure some things out.
I get the why before I go into setting the table. So is that okay? So I say things like, just so I understand which programs we're looking at here. Did someone pass away recently? Was it COVID? What kind of got you thinking about this? And they usually tell me the reason why. I said, okay, got it. Okay, let's just, she gets deep. Got it. Okay, so is this your first time looking at insurance, or have you actually got insurance you owned before?
We had it before, but it ended up canceling, and well, we thought it was like something it wasn't.
Okay.
We thought we had something we didn't.
All right, perfect. So you know the process, just so we are on the same page. Here's how it works. I'm what you call a broker. So I don't just represent one company, Anna. I actually have access to all the companies in the state. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a few questions about your health, income, that sort of stuff. And then I'm going to actually shop for you and find which of these carriers fits you the best. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
I don't have any allegiance to any of them. We normally just go with the best and the cheapest for you. I was going to say, so here's what we'll do. Once I get those options, the cool thing about this is you're actually going to be the one that chooses your premium. Okay. So I'm going to show you when I kind of figure out which company, I'm going to show you some levels of coverage, and you're going to choose which one fits your needs and your budget. Okay. Now,
Okay.
I don't make the decisions, Anna, it's the companies. I'm just kind of the liaison. So we're then simply going to submit a request to the carrier, and they're going to give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. Now, no matter how good what we talk about today is, you actually can't make your final decision. All we can do today, Anna, is apply for coverage or decline coverage. And so here all that means. If we decline coverage, just simply update your file and you no longer can apply with us, which is no problem. If we apply for coverage, all the company does is just take basic information that I'm going to get to qualify you. They're going to ask for your name, beneficiary, date of birth, social to check your health records, right? And obviously, we're going to also add banking, routing, and account number in the application, because you obviously know you can't use your neighbor's bank account to pay for your life insurance, right?
Right.
Yeah. So once we submit that, you sometimes it's immediate, or it could take a couple of days or to a week. But when you get approved, that's when you'll see that first premium come out. But the cool thing is you'll then get this 30 days. That's when you'll get the policy, review it, pray about it, make sure this is what we put in place today is exactly what you want. Okay. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Now, 30 days, would you say that's enough time to get comfortable with anything?
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's the basic process. Now, Anna, can I just ask you 3 things real quick?
Yes.
All right. So before I ask that, I would say, hey, do you have any questions about the process? You would say, no. Can I just ask three things? And I pretty much do the same thing-ish. And the reason is you can either be transactional or relational when you do your sales. Transactional is, hey, can I take your order? Boom, you're done. I'm transitioning. I used to just do transactional telesales, but I'm transitioning into having a posture where I'm literally in your house, but just over the phone. And I'm going to gather all the data and I'm going to see what's going to fit you best. Because of that approach, that's how I'm able to uncover an annuity, because I'm going to ask you all these questions. That's how I'm able to do this, because they're not going to say like, well, what do you need to know that information for? Because I make sure I get all the data. I got their trust. We go from there. I set the table. I say, hey, I just asked for 3 things. Hey, at the end of this, I'm going to give you 3 options. I literally, if you heard me before, I said it over and over. I'm going to give you options. We're planning. I'm literally repeating myself in different ways. I'm going to give you 3 options. Just, if you wouldn't mind, just tell me, yes, you want to apply, or no, you don't. Is it okay? Just don't tell me you want to think about it. Would that be all right? Yeah, because it won't offend me at all, Anna. Obviously, you know, you can't think about something you're not even approved for. Second, if you would please be honest and upfront about all the things I'm going to ask you, just to make sure I can do my job and give a good recommendation. That'd be okay?
Yes.
Perfect. And last thing is, if you would please just give me your permission to be upfront and honest with you, even if that's to the point of being brutally honest. Would that be all right too? All right,
Yeah.
perfect. I'm gonna jump right into it then. Boom. We just go. Done. So the only issue I've ever had would be, again, if I didn't hear, again, when you're over the phone, you got to hear tones. Yeah. Okay, Anna, so I heard, yeah, again, and the reason I got the why first is if you don't get the why first and they give you an objection after they said that they've already agreed to the process, you got no bullets to shoot them with, right? You got nothing. I had that happen recently. I was on the roll. I forgot to get the why because it was rolling so smooth. And she was like, oh, I want to think about it. Or she was like, she said something, it was weird. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't know what to say. I was like my gun was empty because I didn't get the why. I couldn't say. So when we spoke earlier, you said because I had nothing and it was over. So you got to get the why, or at least initial. And then as you go through, here's another thing, another tip. We're talking about setting the table. I gathered the financial inventory. I asked this question, that question, this question, that question. The difference between the great producers and the not great producers is the question they ask. Once you get the full picture of the financial inventory. So she told me, hey, my husband, we this and this. Once I get it, then before you even give options, you need to do a summary, a recap. All right, Anna, just to confirm so I can make the best recommendation. From what we got here, looks like if you passed away, Mac would be screwed. Hey, it looks like if you passed away, man, you got all those kids. I mean, Mac, he probably couldn't be going to work doing what he's doing, right? He would have to come back home, at least make sure that, kids, maybe have the mayor or wife, but you don't want him to go rush to the next lady that just, has a skirt, right? I wouldn't say that, but I may say that just to be, funny. She was like, yeah, you're right. I want to give him time. Okay, so looks like he would be more worse off if you passed. So we need you guys do understand. And I kind of summarize other things. And again, Anna, if something happened to Mac, look at this is what would happen to you. Okay, and this would do this and this and this. This would be this. This would be bad and bad. All right, based on what we put together, what you told me, you guys do understand that we need to put coverage in place today, right?
And Mac,
Yep.
guys, right there, I just want to add, no. What I was right there, and Matt coached me on this a while back, that is critical. If you do that reval or eval, as soon as you go through that, you need to pause and get them to say yes. That again takes away at the very end, well, I just want to think about it, or I don't really know, because they've already agreed that, okay, they'll give you all their personal information. They've already agreed that, yes, I'll give the banking information. And now right there, you are making them say, yes, I agree that I see that I absolutely need this.
Or let's go a step further. Let's say I look at the situation, they were filthy rich. I call it as it is. So, hey, it looks like if you were to die, Maureen, looks like Joe would be pretty set, and vice versa. So obviously we're not putting this place because you need it. We're just simply looking to allow what you already got in place to go further. Is that, am I understanding what we're doing here? They say, yeah. So that life insurance you got right there, that's for your grandkids. What we're doing today is to make sure that goes everywhere, and your burial, that doesn't even touch your burial. Is that right? You see that? So when I put the coverage options in place, you're not going to tell me, oh, I already got life insurance, because we just identified that was for something different, right? You just agree with me. So when you don't summarize before you give options, it's almost like a soft close. You might cause problems for yourself. I always summarize as it goes through. Anyway, I do it fast. So I'm just giving you the slow version, because as you kind of get better and better, you'll get better and better. You'll just do it automatically without even thinking about it, right? It seems like it's going slow, but it really does go fast. Anyway, so that's the setting the table, guys. It's pretty simple. Now we're going to jump into doing three-way calls. I don't know if we have time. We might set that for a different time, but I think it's critical since we're talking about that's the advanced topic. I just threw in setting the table in here because it's a question we've had so often. And I think it's stealing some of our sales, or it's stealing your time. Because if you don't set the table, you may be talking to someone that is not worth your time. Successful producers talk with interested clients. Unsuccessful producers spend most of their time with uninterested people, or people who are interesting but not interested. There's a difference. They're curious. Curious don't pay your bills. So you need to identify that. They're wasting your time. Move on. I'd rather be banging the phones, unless you're just lonely and you just want to talk to somebody. Don't do that. I don't pay your bills either. So at least you'll be able to know where you are and identify them for who they are. And they tell you who they are by the questions you ask them, by the way they treat you. It's no different than if you're a girl, you know what your worth is. If some joker, hey girl, man, you look good in that shirt. Listen, your mama taught you better. Is that the guy you want to marry you? What are you gonna say to him? Man, get away from me. You jerk, idiot, whatever you want to call him, right? So treat clients the same. They're not gonna treat you the way you don't want to be treated. If you entertain clowns, you will join the circus. Stop entertaining clowns, period. That makes sense? Hope it does. We're gonna move on. All right, there's a question real quick. All right, that's a different topic. We're gonna get to that and another time. We can talk offline about that, getting folks on the phone or having them stay on. It's a combination of a couple of things. Or before I even answer, I need to look at exactly what your current situation is. I'm talking about the numbers. I mean, if you can tell me that, then I can kind of go for it. So let's kind of look at that a little bit later. Let's end this with three-way calls. I'm gonna share my screen yet again. Let me see if I can take over host. Can I share my, yeah, I can share my screen. All right, let's see. All right, three-way calls. So this is, again, building. This is gonna unlock your skill set because three-way calls is a critical step that you need. And if you don't have three-way calls, you're gonna find it's gonna be very difficult. You won't even know what it is that's challenging. You're just gonna know or feel and see results that you're not able to get recruiting going on. Something is mucking up the process, like a machine, a chain gang, and something is messing up the chain. What is a three-way call? It's a conference call with you, your prospect, and the expert. So it's three things: you, your prospect, and the expert, or the interested person, okay? Why do we do three-way calls? Answer questions, hear a success story, third-party validation, AKA social validation. People need social validation. Invite to a live event, sign to the prospect, and you need to do it because it creates duplication. That's key. If you want to build a big business, you need to create duplication. When do you do it? After they've been exposed to a third-party tool. What is a third-party tool? A third-party tool is anything but you. It's a third-party tool. Great question. I'm talking about a recruit. So this is specifically building. This is building. Third-party tool is anything but you. The Rogue IMO video. If you don't have it, get it. You can use a generic one. Hey, there's a lot of them. I'll get to that a little bit later. But if you search the Rogue IMO online, you can find it. I just have a website that I use. You guys can use it too. It's called greatcareerplan.net, I think it is. And it just goes straight to it's a YouTube video that is the Rogue IMO video. So you can use that too. If you type it in and it goes to the wrong one, it's okay. I'm going to update it again to make sure it's good, but it goes to the Rogue IMO video perfectly. So three-way call, the purpose of it is just to ensure that you keep the process going fluidly. Because if you are the only one someone's seeing, it's a problem with that. Three-way calls occur after the follow-up. So you need to initiate, you need to pique someone's interest. You've initiated it. You show them the third-party tool, which is, hey, take a look at this video. The video is just a sorting tool. That's all it is, a sorting tool. It's a sifter, right? I don't know what you call those things that you put spaghetti in. Keeps the spaghetti in and the water out. That's all it is, just so you don't waste your time. We are not looking for people that are gonna waste our time. How do you know that? Well, they don't watch the video, right? It's very simple. Have them go to the third-party tool. If they say no, so you call them up, hey, hey, Bill. Hey, Bill, this is Mac. You probably don't remember me. I always assume they don't remember me. You probably don't remember me. I was getting back to you about that. But now a lot of this, we're going social media. So if you're going social media, hey, I'm getting back to you. Hey, you say, hey, you probably haven't had a chance to look at it. Or I say things like, when I'm giving the third-party tool, because I've already piqued their interest, they say, hey, I'll be interested. What is it? Hey, you know what? I'm pretty busy right now. If you take a look at this video, it's only about, if I gave you a 15-minute video, if I would you, remember that, if I would you, if I gave you a short video, 15-minute about what we do, how much we make, how soon could you take a look at it? I can do it right now. Perfect. I'm gonna just see if I can, I'll do this. I know you'll have questions. So I'm gonna just see if I can I'll hit you back in about 15 minutes. What's your number? Boom, right? Three-way calls must be done over the phone. Here's the thing, social media is great. You wanna transition from high tech to high touch. When we transition using social media to get prospects, you want to transfer them from just people that are online friends to people you actually talk to, real people. You need to incorporate a three-way call into your recruiting process if you wanted to produce faster results. So forget the fact that they say no, because you're only going to follow up with them over the phone once they said yes. You follow up with them. Here's the question you ask. Hey, let's say I'm talking to Anna or Rose. Hey, Rose, hey, I know you probably have questions, but before I get to your questions, what did you like best from what you saw? That's always the question you ask. What did you like best? Don't care. Or maybe they sideline you. Hey, man, yeah, I saw the video, but hey, how's the money work? Sometimes you get sidelined. They ask you these questions, you go and sometimes don't do that. Hey, that's a great question. But before I answer that, let me ask you this. What did you like best from what you saw? They tell you. And whatever they say, you're going to mirror match, right? There are people going to say, I like the money. I like helping people. I like serving clients. You know what? I love that too. Whatever they say you love that too, right? I'm so glad you said that. So whatever they say, you say, and use whatever they say as a reason for the third party, as a reason to introduce them to someone, as a reason for the connection to the expert. So he says, hey, I love the money. Man, I love the money too. I'm so glad you said that. Listen, and then you transit to a three-way call to an expert. Listen, I'm actually working with someone who's doing really, really well. I mean, again, I can't make any promise, but they're actually making $40,000 a month. Now, they're really busy, but you got to hear their story. You got to hear their story. Remember, facts tell, stories sell. Yeah, Rose actually did this today. You got to hear their story. So the reason you're introducing them to a third party is to hear that person's story, their 30-second commercial. Because here's how it is right now. I'm going to give you just a visual. You got a red cape. Remember those matadors? They got a red cape, right? The bulls supposedly hate red. You're doing this, you're flashing this because they like money. They like to help people. That's the cape that's attracting them. They start rushing at you, right? They're rushing at you. Remember Bugs Bunny with the bull, right? And if you stay there and you're the one answering the question, they say, hey, how's the money work? And you say, well, hey, it works like this. You get first advance this and we pay 100%. You start blah, 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 blah. The bull will hook you and you will be dead, period. What you got to do is you start flashing the money, start flashing helping them. And they say, wait, man, I'm interested. Start asking all these questions. They're coming at you. You need to get up and you need to say, ole, right? That's what they say in the bull riding. You get up and you go, ole. Just remember that, right? So ole is three-way call, right? Hey, it doesn't matter what question they ask. Hey, how does licensing work? That's a great question. I actually working with someone. They are bringing in a lot of agents who have that same question. They're pretty busy, but man, they are, and you got to edify them. They're doing well. They love to work with people, but man, you got to hear their story. Boom. Ole, you got to ole. You get the third party on, and here's a couple of things you can share with people. They like to help people. They're successful, fun to work with. They know the facts and they're down to earth. Those are the different kinds of people. So, hey, that's how you edify. So the key word is you are edifying the person before you get the expert on the phone. If you don't edify before, it will ruin the three-way call. Guys, I know this probably sounds foreign to some of us, but I'm telling you, this is going to be a game changer. Game changer. So, what is
Mac?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, real quick, guys, just want to verify because this is still new to all of us. So just keep it in the back of your mind. You cannot make any income claims at all. So even if you're doing a three-way call, you can't say, hey, this person's making 40 grand a month.
Oh, you can't say that?
No.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So don't say that.
No income claims at all.
You're helping a lot of families. You can say that.
Just focus 100% on the service. And just so you guys know, on serving families, statistics wise, they've actually been tracking that. Family First has been tracking that. And since they took away the money advertising and they focused on service and taking care of families, recruiting has actually gone way up. So it does work, but just take that money vernacular out.
Interesting. Okay.
Hey, Mac, what were those 5 things you were saying that would like edify the 5? You had said 5 things. I didn't write them down fast enough.
Oh, successful, or in other words, they're making a lot of money. I'll put it up there. Love to help people. Like to have fun, down to earth. So money, help, fun, they know the facts. They know 100% of the facts. So facts, money, fun, down to earth. Those are the 4 areas. If you say that person has those qualities, it'll match something that means a lot to somebody. That makes sense? Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to just kind of go through one. Here's how it is. So you're the agent. You never call the third party while the person you never make sure you call the third party while the person's on hold. So call the expert. Let them know prior to, of course, right? Hey, would you be open for a three-way call about this time? Boom, right? You text them, hey, I'm calling this person now, right? So you call the expert when the person's on hold, and then before you bridge the call, tell the expert the prospect's background. Hey, Mac, and when we get good at this, guys, when I've been in some previous companies, man, it was like clockwork. Hey, Mac, I got a guy, he's 40, he works at FedEx, he loved the money, and yeah, if you can get him, if you can help him get the next step, it'd be great. Perfect. Boom. That's what you say. All I want to hear is the person's background. So the person's name, background, and what they like best. That's it. I don't got to hear a whole story. Hey, this person with this happened here, and we want to hear all that. Just the name of the person, their background, what they like best. Because the person on the line, we got a business to run, right? You get them on the line, and here's what happens. Introduce the expert as Mr. and Mrs. It isn't that, you know, there's a hierarchy here. It's just a matter of edification. You can say Mr. Mac. Hey, this is Mr. Mac. You don't have to say Mr. Aguilar. Just somehow Mr. in the way we were taught means someone means something, right? Now, when let's say Rose said, hey, this is Mr. Mac. I can say, no. Billy, go ahead, just call me Mac, right? I can say that. But if Rose says that, it doesn't jive very well. So just remember that, all right? So introduce the prospect by their first names. I don't care if the prospect is the president of the United States, right? You're gonna say, if you had Joe Biden on there, here's what you're gonna say. Hey, Mr. Mac, this is Joe. Joe, this is Mr. Mac. Who's higher on that little conversation? I am, right? You see what I'm saying? It's a psychology thing. And then, hey, Joe. Hey, Joe, let's just go and call me Mac. I'll go ahead and put us on the same plane, guys. Okay, you follow me here. And then you actually say, hey, Mr. Mac, and then you say, hey, Joe, this is Mr. Mac. Mr. Mac, this is Joe. Hey, Mr. Mac. So I was just telling Joe about you. If you could just real quickly share your story. Joe just heard a little bit and he said he loved the money. Perfect. And then I will share my story. 30 seconds. It's your story, and some of you will become experts. Some of you already are. If I ask you to be an expert, you could be an expert same day in the business. Here's what that means. All the expert means is that you've been in the business for longer than a day. That's all it means. Here's what that means to you. It's your 30-second story comprises of your name, your background. So so Joe, hey, my background was oil and gas, banking. What happened before FFL? What happened after, or what solution FFL solved, and what you're looking forward to happening in the future. That's it. So Joe, hey, yeah, Joe. So my background was oil and gas or banking. So I've had a lot of backgrounds. If my background, I've done oil and gas, I've done banking, I've done a bunch of different things. I've done construction, but my background was oil and gas. But I've done construction too. Because before FFL, man, I was working all these crazy hours. And man, since FFL, I've worked hard still, but man, I don't have to worry about money anymore, right? And I'm really looking forward to what that's going to do for me in the future. And bam, that's my story. I just validated something that he was looking for. Whatever their issue is, I'm going to validate. Now, let's continue. Here's what's key. When the call is over, don't keep the call going. Just end. The expert needs to be the one that does a mic drop. The expert does a mic drop. If you keep going, you minimize the power of the expert. Don't interrupt the expert. The expert is the expert. If you interrupt the expert, you de-edify the expert. Just be quiet, right? So remember that. All right, last couple of slides, we'll be done here. Edification. Here's why we do it the way we do it. There's something called a credibility triangle, edification triangle. I don't care if it's your mom, if it's your brother. Here's the problem. Your people know and trust you, right? They know you, but they don't respect you. I don't know what it is, because a prophet's never considered a prophet in his own town. So your mom, you may be a successful banker, but when you're doing insurance, you've never done insurance. So you got no respect in insurance. So even if anyone you know, anyone, even someone that is completely foreign, you do three-way calls, because it's like when parents say something, the kids don't listen, but when the other parents, when the kid's mom or someone else says it, all of a sudden the same thing that was said by the parents, someone listens, right? It's weird. So when the parents say something, the kid doesn't listen. But when the kid's parents' mom or maybe their friend's mom says it, it's like heaven. Same concept. This triangle is the reason we do it. It just increases the flow of people getting social validation. Just remember form. Rose was asking, so what are those for? It's bear in here. Form, it's fortune. Oh man, I forgot what the form meant. It's family, occupation, recreation, money. right? That's how you talk to her. That's how the expert is going to jive with the prospect. So are you from here? I may ask some questions, so I understand you're doing this. What do you do for fun? Those are just areas that you can figure out a way to kind of connect. You don't got to do all of them. You got to confirm. So I understand that you saw a video. Is that right? Now, you already asked what they like best. Guess who else is going to ask that? I will. So you say, hey, you saw the video. What did you like best? He says the money. You get me on. I'll say, I'll say, hey, so I understand you saw the video. What did you like best? He'll say the money. And then I'll say, that's awesome. What is it about the money that you like so much about? He'll tell me what was hurting them. And then that's when it'll be my chance to share my story, right? That's what the expert does. Feel, felt, found. He says, you know what? The money means a lot to me because I'm working a lot of hours in my job. And man, even though I work hard, I don't make enough. Man, I know how you feel, Joe. I felt the same way before in the past. And here's what I found. Then you share your story with FFL. You see how that just kind of plays? It's just a perfect segue. And it just works like a play, right? It's a beautiful thing. And then, of course, you have to prospect. Hey, listen, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, no interest, 10, you're ready to go. Where would you rate your interest level right now? Whatever number they say, I say perfect. If they say a 5 and below, I say that kind of makes me think. But normally it's 6 and above. If they say I'm a 6, perfect. What would you need to know in order to be a 10? Oh, I just need to know more about, how the money works. And at that point, that's when we get them to the next exposure, which is more so they either need to review the video, which is more so our BDMs, our online business development meetings, where it goes over more details. It just goes over more detail. Or I will direct them to something else, right? We have other videos that will work just as well, right? So anyway, so yeah, and then I'll say, hey, if we could answer that question, besides that, if you knew how the money works, what else would you need to know before you get started? They'll say nothing. Awesome, perfect. All right, and then I'll give maybe Rose some Rose. Go ahead and make sure you get Joe this information. Or hey, Rose, I'll get Joe this information. I'll get you this information. Can you get it to Joe as soon as I get it to you? Yeah, boom, perfect, Joe. I'll set Rose up. Joe, if Rose was able to get you that information by the end of today, by 3 o'clock, how soon could you watch it so she can go ahead and discuss next steps with you? I'm teeing you up, Rose. Joe says, I get to work from by 7. Awesome. So if Rose gave you a call 7:30 to follow up, would that work for you? Or do you need about 7:45? 7:30 is like perfect. Rose, would that be okay with your schedule? Yeah. I just took the pressure off of Rose, set him up. She calls him at 7:30, answers his questions, game over. You got a brand new person. Here's what's powerful about that though. Here's the thing. I'm gonna show you something. It's so powerful because let me go through. I don't even know we need this. We don't need this anymore. It's so powerful because of this reason. When people are being recruited, they ask themselves a few questions. Can I do what you're doing to me right now? Do I want to do what you're doing to me right now? Can I do what you're doing? Can I do what you're doing to me right now to my friends, family, and neighbors? If the answer to that is no, it's game over. That means even if this is the most awesome opportunity in the world, they are not going to recruit anybody. You know why that is? Because the process that you did in the recruiting was too complicated. But let's say, for example, they say, hey, Joe asks, or Rose says, hey, so Joe's in. Rose says, so Joe, who do you know that's sharp? He goes, my brother. Awesome. He goes, can you send him a video? Yeah, I can do that. And or he goes, hey, you need to start recruiting, Joe. Yeah, I don't know enough about the business. I haven't made any money, because he doesn't feel worthy of recruiting. But if you say, hey, who do you know that's sharp? My brother. Can you send your brother a video? Can he do that? Well, yeah, I could do that. Well, Joe, I hadn't made any money either before I got started. So what did I do to you, Joe? You sent me a video. Can you send someone a video? Yeah. And once you get them the video, can you get them on the phone with me? Yeah. Okay, let's do that. You see how it's simple? How a baby can start recruiting? Because what you did to them was simple and easy peasy. So guys, we're over time. There's more time for this, but the 3-way call should have taken was going to take the process or the time that the setting the table took. We could have gotten a little deeper into this. The biggest thing is just simply, we need to do a 3-way call. You may suck at it at first, just like you suck at selling. But if you do 3-way calls and you start that in the process, you will get better and better and better. The best recruiters do 3-way calls. That is the game changer for the business. So that's it, guys. I'm going to stop the recording at this point.